Have you ever noticed that it's easier to get stuck in business than it is to get started in business? And once you get started in business, well, a lot of people have a hard time figuring out how to scale those businesses. And fortunately for us, we figured out some moves, 4 moves to be exact, that we've been coaching our clients on over the last several years. And we've had 40-something clients who've done $1 million days, over 100 clients who've had $100,000 days. And today on this video, I'm going to talk to you about the $1 Million Easy Button. Fix one thing and scale your business. So I'm talking about the $1 Million Easy Button.
That was easy.
Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. So have you ever noticed that, you go to the gym and you see some guy come in and he's got really big shoulders and really big biceps and really big, like, everything, and then he gets down to his legs and it's like a totally different person.
Yes.
Right? Okay? He's got like beanpole legs, but all of this stuff up here is like, dude, how do you not fall over, right? And you ask yourself, how does somebody get like that? And it's because they skip leg day. They're like, okay, I'm going to work on the rest of this stuff, but I'm not worried about the base. I'm not worried about the legs. And so when I look at businesses, I see a lot of businesses that look like that guy at the gym. And what they do is, the reason he looks the way he looks is because he works on the stuff he likes and ignores the stuff he doesn't like. And the reason businesses have a hard time scaling and have a hard time getting to $1 million a year is because they work on the stuff that's fun for them, that they like to do, that they're good at, and they ignore the stuff they don't like to do, the stuff that's hard for them, and the stuff they don't want to think about. But the reality is you have to have all 4 walls in the framework of building your business. You have to have lead generation. You have to have core product offers. You have to have premium value offers. And you have to have continuity offers. Now, you don't have to have all of those. You can have a business with one of those. But there's a saying in the military, not that I was in the military, but I've got 4 brothers who are in the military. They have a saying in the military: 2 is 1 and 1 is none, right? And so if you only have one component of profitability in your business, you are one client loss, one shift in the economy away from losing your entire business. So how do you know? So what you do is you have to look at your numbers. When we were flying in, like when you're flying on an airplane, you don't have the luxury when you're in the cockpit of just looking at one dial. You can't just look at altitude, right? You have to look at altitude, which is how high am I? You have to look at attitude, which is the plane nose up or is the plane nose down? You have to look at airspeed. Am I going fast enough to stay in the air? And you can't say, well, I like this one better than the rest of them, because if you do that, you're going to crash. And that's why so many businesses crash, because they're only focused on one indicator, and you have to focus on all of them. So here's what I'm going to challenge you to do as a business owner, because more than likely, you only need to fix one thing in your business to scale. And if you fix all 4 of these, it'll be an absolute profit-making bonanza. So if your business is struggling, it's struggling for one of 4 reasons. 1, you don't have enough people to sell stuff to. You don't have enough leads. What is a lead? A lead is somebody raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in knowing more about the thing that you can fix in my life, right? So that's a lead. Okay, 2, you don't have a core you don't have enough, you're not selling enough core product offers. What's a core product? A core product is the main thing that a business sells that the business is in the business of selling, right? So if you're an insurance agent, then your core product is an insurance policy. If you're in real estate, it's a house, right? If you're a plumber, it's plumbing. If you're an electrician, it's electricity. If you're an author, it's books, right? So you need core product offers. Like, I've got some core product offers here. I've got my Trash Man to Cash Man book. This book, I wrote this book in 2006. We sell about $7,000 to $12,000 worth of this a month. Okay, 18,000 we sold last month. So sometimes we even get a spike, right? This book right here, Boss Moves. This is a core product offer. It sells for $30. We sell between $35,000 and $70,000 worth of this one core product per month. I'm an author. As an author, those are core products for me. So if I'm only selling $1,000 worth of books, then I either need to sell more books by generating more leads, or I need to write more books and sell them to the same leads I already have, right? So I can increase the number of sales I'm making of my core products. If I have plenty of leads and I'm selling plenty of core products, my business might be stuck at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month because I sell core products and I sell enough of them to keep me in business. I've got a $500 offer. We sell 100 of them a month. I'm generating $50,000 a month in revenue. Like that might be your story. I mean, I wasn't talking about me, but I'm just saying if I'm a business owner, right? I've got a $500 offer, a $500 course I sell 100 of them a month. By the way, 100 a month sounds like a lot, right? Until you realize it's only 3.3 a day. It's only 3.3 sales a day, right? And 3.3 sales a day is pretty much doable for anybody in any business as long as they have a solution that actually creates transformation for for some other person. And so as I'm thinking about all of this, this business growth stuff, and I'm talking to clients, I'll ask them a question. I say, well, my business is stuck. Okay, how many leads are you generating per month? I don't know. How much are you generating from core product sales? I don't know. Do you have a premium value offer? What's that? Right? What's your continuity? I don't have any. Okay, well it's easy to fix. So here's what happens. Here's what we'll do. We'll take your core product, right? We'll take your core product or the number of leads that you're generating, and we'll say, how many leads are you generating per month? So if you are generating, let's say 100 leads a month, then what's your price point? 100 leads per month. What's your price point? Let's say your price point is $500. Or let's say your conversion rate is 10%, right? So you're converting at 10%, right? That's your conversion. And then let's say your price point, let's call your price point $1,000, right? So you're selling a $1,000 course. Well, 10% of 1,000, 100 is 10, so you're going to multiply this times 10, and your revenue is $10,000 a month, okay? So now we know how to get there. So I have a couple of choices. I can either increase the number of leads I'm generating. If I'm only generating 100 leads a month, it would be a good idea for me to focus on generating more leads, right? But what if I don't like generating more leads? What if I just like writing books? And so what I do is I say, well, I'm not making that much money. I think I'll go write a book. Well, you don't have enough customers for the book you already wrote, right? But you like writing, so you do the thing you like to do and ignore the thing you need to do. And that's what a lot of business owners do, which is why they look like the guy at the gym with the big biceps and the big deltoids and the big pecs, but he's got chicken legs because they do the thing they love to do instead of the thing they need to do. And so if you are going to crank up your business, you're generating 100 leads a month, add a premium value offer. I don't have a premium value offer. So add a $10,000 offer. What if you add a $10,000 offer to your product suite? What would that be? Well, that's the part of the work you have to do. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your business is. I don't know who your clients are. But you could create a $10,000 offer. If you're in coaching, it might be a coaching program. It might be a mastermind. You could $10,000 or $20,000, whatever we're going to call it. 10. What if 10% of these people, the people who bought your $1,000 thing, what if one of the 10 bought this? You just doubled your revenue. See, people don't think about their business logically. They think about it emotionally, right? And if you think about your business logically and you do the math, if you do the math, you can make the millions. And so most people don't do the math. And they keep doing things they like to do and keep ignoring things they don't like to do. And the things they don't like to do are the things that would make their business skyrocket. So I was doing my challenge a couple of weeks ago, and I asked Zach, as I often do, I said, okay, Zach, how many leads did we generate last month? He said, 4,336 leads. Well, 4,336 leads. Like if you generate 4,336 leads in a month, some of those people are going to buy something from you. Right? Does that make sense? Because now the pool of people that are aware of the transformation that you can create for them, which is the only reason somebody would buy something from you in the first place, because when they believe that when they buy something from you, they will be able to do something or have something they couldn't do or have before they bought the thing. Does that make sense? And so you get to the point where, okay, you're looking at your business and you've got so much revenue coming in from all these different sources. So when you look at lead generation, right? How much money do you make from that? You don't make any money from that. But now you have a pool of people. Your lead generation is your potential money, okay? Your CPOs, your core product offers. How much money are you generating from that? In our business, like I evaluated my own business because I'm going to be honest with you. I like selling premium value offers. That's my jam, right? But that's not the thing I need to focus on for me to scale my business. Why? Because we have $1 million coaching program. We have $1 million a year. We have 3 people in that right now. We have a $350,000 coaching program. We have 8 or 9 or 10 people in that right now, right? We've got a $55,000 coaching program. We have about 80 or 90 people in that right now. And we have a $27,000 coaching program, and we have a couple hundred people in that. Okay, so I like selling premium value offers, obviously, and that's contributes to a large percentage of our revenue. And so I'm looking at my business, I'm saying, okay, if I want to scale my business to the next level without it requiring more work from me, right? More time from me, more work from me. How can I do that? I need to increase this, because this number right here, though it's fine, everything's relative, right? So this number for us right here, this might only be, and I'm not, it sounds weird to say this because people out there in John Q. Public are watching, but this is only like $300,000 a month, okay? And I know that sounds weird, but only is not compared to my next door neighbor, and it's not compared to a dollar bill or how much is a lot, it's just compared to what it could be. So when I'm saying only, it's only $300,000 a month, and it could easily be $3 million. It could easily be $6 million just in core product offers. But I don't really focus on selling core product offers. We sell books and tickets all day long. So those are our core products. Tickets to the challenge, books. We sell core products, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $15,000 worth of that stuff every day, right? Core products every day. So for me, but what I notice is missing. So as I'm thinking about this is the lever. As I'm thinking about my own business and how I would coach me to scale my business to the next level, I say, okay, your premium value offers are significantly higher. Your premium value offer revenue is significantly higher than this. So how do I get this to match? I don't need to fix premium value offers right now, right? I need to fix core product offers. Okay, what can I do? Well, when I'm evaluating how to fix my core product offers, I'm going to evaluate looking at what price points do I have. I have a $20 book. I have a $30 book, $30 book. I have a $97 ticket. I have a $297 ticket. I have a $797 ticket. These we sell a lot of. I have a $1,000 course. We sell virtually none of these. I mean, we might make $5,000 a month from a $1,000 course. Why? Because we just don't promote it. We don't have a sales engine for it. We have sales engines for all of this. We have this product, people find out about it and they buy it. But we don't have an active sales engine to sell this product. We have a $2,000 course. It's called Trainings That Transform. We sell almost none of these a month. If we sell one every 3 months, right? Why? We don't have a sales engine for it. It's a great product. It's one of the best products we've ever created, but we don't have a sales engine for it, right? And if I create a $3,000 offer, let's say I create a $3,000 course that teaches people how to create content, right? And I sell that. And they do it all on their own. It's not a coaching program. It's just a course. This is how I create content. This is how I recommend you create content. And if I build these 3 sales engines as core product offers, because to me, a premium value offer starts at like $5,000. So these would be 3 like higher tier core product offers. And if I build an automated webinar, an automated masterclass that I sell these on, I could get to the point where I'm selling 100 or 200 of these a month, 100 or 200. Let's say I sell 200 of these, that'd be 200,000. 200 of these, that'd be another 400,000. 200 of these, that's 600,000. So that's another $1 million a month. That's the $1 million easy button. But the problem with the $1 million easy button is it's hard to push. Why? Because usually it's something you don't want to touch. You want to think about something else. And so what happens is we become so distracted by the things that are working that we never fix the things that aren't working. And then we've got another, I'll just call it, the next, so we talked about lead generation. So lead generation, our lead generation makes us nothing. Our core product offers make us about $300,000 a month. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of zeros. Okay, $300,000 a month. Okay, and then our premium value offers, on average, generate well, I say on average they generate about $800,000 a month. Okay. So, and then we have our continuity offers. So our continuity offers only do about $200,000 a month. Okay, cool. So now the question is, how can I raise that revenue? Well, right now our continuity is very limited. I can add, which we have it, but we haven't launched it yet. Software as a service. So a SaaS product at $100 to $300 a month. A newsletter, again, at $100 to $300 a month. And guess what? Get 1,000 people on $100 a month, that's $100,000 a month. Get 1,000 people on $100 a month, that's another $100,000 a month. And so what happens when you decide, everybody type yourself on the chest, say me. When you decide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my numbers and look at what matrices I need to work on in order to push the easy button to take my business to the next level. When you do this and you start figuring out what leg day is for you in your business and you decide, I'm going to focus on my legs, you will have pushed the $1 million easy button, and you would have fixed, you don't need to you don't need to have all of these working to make a fortune. You only need one. But if you have one working, it gives you the mental bandwidth and the profitability to hire a team so you can start focusing on building the rest of them. So that is what I call the $1 million
That was easy.
easy button.
That was easy.
Fix one thing and scale your business. Have a great day. I am here with two of the finest gentlemen I've had the privilege of knowing, and they are on an incredible mission. And we are here to invite entrepreneurs to join us on this incredible mission. We are here with the founder and the principal of the Academy of Scholars in Atlanta, Georgia. The founder, Melvin Foote, and the principal, Dr. Brian Golden. Good to have you guys here. So glad y'all are here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. I just love the work y'all are doing. It's amazing. I think people underestimate the importance of making sure children learn to think at a very young age. And one of the things I love about what you guys are doing is that you don't just tell the kids what to think, but at the Academy of Scholars, you teach them how to think. And I think that's pretty amazing. So, Melvin, you founded this school. How long ago? What causes a person to say, I'm going to found a school that's going to impact the future of our community, of our country, and our world by educating children at the highest possible level and getting them started early with a good foundation in academics? What motivated you to do that?
It was 12 years ago, and it was necessary for me to drive my daughter 26 miles one way to go to a school that I was happy with.
Wow.
So it was a great experience. It was a wonderful school. We're still in contact with them now. In fact, they consult with us now with our school.
Wow.
So,
and they consult with you to get consulting advice from you, not the other way around now.
no.
They consult with you so you get a consulting advice from them because they were such an excellent school.
Right, and they're
Okay,
70
that makes
years
sense.
old. They're 70 years old.
Oh, well, so they know some stuff.
Yeah, they know some stuff.
They know some
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Okay,
the
that
finest
makes
school
sense.
in the state.
Oh, wow.
So we thought that there was a need for an excellent school on our side of town because not everybody has the ability to drive 26 miles, even if you can pay
One
for
way.
it.
That's
yes,
one way.
one way.
Wow.
So at the time, I was working out of my house. So it was 26 miles there, 26 miles back. So we did 100 miles a day to get her back and forth to school.
And we're not talking about college, we're talking about elementary school.
She was in the 9th grade when she
Oh, she was in the
started
ninth
that
grade.
school.
Okay,
Yeah.
she was in the ninth grade when she
Yeah.
started the school. Okay. So you drove 26 miles. So the first thing I get from this conversation is really excellent schools
Yes.
are hard to find.
Right.
And maybe, in some communities, maybe even impossible.
Right.
Right. But you said, okay, so I don't want other parents to have to go through what I had to go through to find a good place to educate their children. So I'm going to start a school. That's the conclusion you came to.
That's where it came from. And I thought that it was important that we start before the children were lost. In other words, if you have a good foundation and you learn to love learning, you can build on that. As opposed to us starting a school at maybe 8th grade and they're already behind. I wanted to be where we could make the most difference. We could get them a good start and allow them to be ready for the next level.
So basically, if you start the children if you start working with the children when they're behind, some of them may never catch up.
Right.
But if you get them far enough ahead, then you don't have to work. Then they may never get behind. Oh, you heard me before I drove up. Yeah, that's what's up. That's such a beautiful thing, and the whole idea. So, like when I hear the name, the Academy of Scholars, when I see the campus. And that's a weird word for an elementary school, right? Campus. Because when you think of when you think of a college, you think of a campus. Right. Sometimes you think of a high school, you think of a campus. You think of like a big corporation, you can think of a campus. But you don't ever think the word campus when you're thinking elementary school until you drive on the campus of the Academy of Scholars, right? Right. And so, like, it's not just an elementary school. It's an experience.
Yes.
It's an experience when the parents drive onto the property. It's an experience when the children see the property. Somehow or another, you had this vision for an educational environment that's different. Talk about that.
So I thought that the education should look like it's funded by a Fortune 500 company, so there are no shortages. They have everything that they need.
Wow.
That's different from a lot of places.
It should look like it's funded by a Fortune 500 company. Wow, that's so good.
Yeah. And then the environment should look like it was provided by Disney, because kids enjoy being at Disney.
So you wanted to make it a place that children would enjoy and parents would feel good about sending their children to.
Right. And so if the children want to be there, half the battle is won.
Real talk. Because I'm going to tell you something now. When I went to elementary school, we didn't have a campus, and I sure didn't want to be there. I mean, but I actually loved school and did really well in school all the way through the third grade. After that, it was the rough side of the mountain after that for me, bro. Yeah. So, wow, I love what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, and then we wanted the curriculum to be that which was put together by a group of top-notch doctors, so they could learn what the doctors knew they needed to know. So we wanted to remove the bureaucracy, remove the red tape, and let the educators do what they've been trained to do.
Instead of letting the bureaucrats dictate what the children could and could not learn, and letting the bureaucrats dictate what the educators could and could not teach.
Right.
Man, so so like, how does somebody come up with even that idea? Like, what made you think that?
I thought about the place that my daughter went to and what I liked about it. I also thought about, especially if I had a son, I only have a daughter, but if I had a son, the kinds of things that would make education conducive for him to want to learn. For example, I don't think the three of us would have wanted to be sitting in a coat like this at school. That wouldn't be my idea of fun.
No.
So I knew we wanted uniforms, but we needed comfortable uniforms. So instead of a button-down shirt, ours was a polo shirt with a zipper.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, those kinds of things.
Every nuanced little detail.
Yes.
Of the experience.
Right.
For the child.
And it starts the first time they drive onto campus, because a parent and a child are not coming to your school to look at it if they don't think it's a possibility that they will be students and parents there.
Right.
So
they're not coming to look at your school because they want to go somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So our motto is that they're already sold when they drive on the parking lot. The only thing that we can do is unsell them. So when you drive up, when anybody drives up, it should look like a special place. So we're in an industrial park, but it was zoned for a school already before we opened the school there. But I believe that, if there's 300 buildings in the industrial park, I believe that ours is the most aesthetically pleasing one by design. So when you drive up, the lines in the parking lot are painted, the curbs are painted, of course, the building's painted, the grounds are kept, the grass is green. If we have to paint the grass to make sure it's green, that's what we do.
Wow. So good.
Yeah. So if the college football field can be green on Saturday, the children's school, the school that the children attend, the grass can be green there Monday through Friday as well.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And how many students do you have at your school?
It's been 12 years and we've eclipsed 400 students.
400 students.
Yeah. And we go from 4 years old through sixth grade.
From 4 years old through sixth grade. And by the time those children get to the sixth grade, they have an advantage when they go into junior high school or middle school.
Yes. We've had a student say at their next school, this one happened to be a public school, and I'm certainly not saying that all public schools are like this,
Right.
but as he was walking up to the school, he told his mom, this school wouldn't look like this if Mr. Melvin worked here. And
Let's go.
she thought enough to tell me that, and of
Indeed.
course that made me happy. Not that it didn't look the way he expected it to, but we established expectation in him while he
An
was with us.
expectation for excellence.
Exactly.
When you establish in children an expectation for excellence, then they begin to expect excellence from themselves.
Exactly. So we also had a county commissioner come to our school. I believe it was year 2, and he was back again in year 10. And he says, this place still looks brand new, and it still looks brand new by design because we have a maintenance staff and they maintain and paint regularly. So if a car happens to hit the curb and there's a
gets
black,
chipped.
well, not chip, but let's say a black mark on the curb because somebody hit it, as anybody can do.
Sure.
Our goal is to paint it in 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So our goal is that it should always look pristine. It should always look like a place that people want to be, and it's not just in the front of the building, but if the UPS man goes to the loading dock at the back of the building, that's freshly painted as well. So.
Wow.
Because he may want to bring his child there too, so you don't want him to say, oh, they keep the things that you can see pristine, but the stains that you can't.
Oh man. See.
So you got to do it. It's got to be the culture.
Yeah.
The culture of the entire school, and everybody's on point with that culture.
Right. So you go to Disney and everything looks good all the time. Now it might not have started that way, but it is that way now.
Sure.
So that's one of the things that we strive to do is make it look good all the time, so that the people that are there, the students that are there, we call them scholars, the scholars that are there,
That's right.
and the people that work there, it's an environment that they want to be in.
I love the fact that you call your students scholars. So they begin to think of themselves as scholars,
Yes.
and they see themselves as scholarly.
Yeah.
And so they behave in a scholarly manner, and they study like scholars.
Yes.
And they expect to make grades like scholars, and they expect to advance in life like scholars. And so if children start out with such a high expectation of their future, even if they don't land as high as they thought they would, they're going to land higher than they would have.
Right.
That's such a beautiful thing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. Now, I get the whole concept of creating an environment that makes these young scholars feel like they're on the launch pad of life, right? And all of that's beautiful as far as external environment stuff is concerned, which is, you can't underestimate the value of that, right? But let's talk about the educational aspect of the school, right? You've got Dr. Brian Golden as the principal. You've got teachers. You've got staff and faculty and all. Like, how did you happen to find Dr. Golden? Why Dr. Golden? What's his mission?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'd been in existence for 9 years when we met Dr.
Okay.
Golden. So when he came onto campus for the first time, he experienced what I just told you, and I'll let him describe that for you.
Sure.
But we tried to set up an environment that he would want to work in, free of red tape, free of bureaucracy, students that want to learn, students that are ready to learn, and students that are on grade level. In fact, if the students happen to be walking in line and they're behind the student in front of them, they're going to see on the back of that student's back it says, "Trust me, I'm a scholar."
That is so fire.
Yeah, yeah.
That is,
And I don't know if we touched on this other thing. It's a Christian school. That may be the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, and well, there's it's a Christian school, and oftentimes when you have a Christian school or a private school that's even not a Christian school, their primary objective is cost savings. It sounds like your primary objective is excellence regardless of cost.
Right. Yeah, we don't short.
You don't start with cost and then backwards extrapolate from there. You start with excellence and figure out, okay, what do we have to do to bring excellence to this environment?
Right. And when you're searching for excellence, the environment allows you to find the Dr. Bolden and the Dr. Bolden to find you when you're doing the search for a principal. So we run the business office in a manner that sets the student, that they're in an environment where everybody there can be successful. The teachers can be successful, the scholars can be successful, and our administrative staff can be successful. So when Dr. Bolden joined us, we had an environment that was conducive for him to do the things that he knows how to do.
So, Dr. Bolden, before I come to you, I'm going to tell you what I've observed in this conversation so far and what I've seen on your campus and the conversations you and I have had. I'm a business consultant. I consult with business owners who run multi-million-dollar businesses, and I eat at 5-star restaurants and stay at 5-star hotels. And what the level of attention and intention that you put into the experience for the people that you serve is not only an example, but could provide value not just to other schools, but to businesses of all kinds and types. That's what I see. So Dr. Bolden, you meet Melvin, the founder of the Academy of Scholars. You come onto the campus. You're open to the conversation about becoming a principal. Tell me what your experience was like when you first came on the campus, and then we'll uncover it from there.
All right. So I drive up to the campus, and I get out of the car, and I meet the vision before I meet Melvin. Because I'm saying, now, what kind of school is this? Because I'm like, the grass is so evenly cut. I'm talking about not just cut, evenly cut, trenched out. Buildings painted, it's immaculate. So I'm saying to myself, if this kind of detail and attention is put on the outside,
Come on now.
what manner of greatness is operating on the inside?
That's good.
And so when I come there, I'm extremely excited because I've traditionally worked in schools where it didn't look like this.
How long have you been in the educational environment as a teacher or principal, or in some form or capacity as faculty or administration?
Over 2 decades.
Okay, wow.
And one of my favorite words in the English language is impossible. Because I often had to lead schools that people said things were impossible. I love that word, impossible. You know, Melvin talked about Disney and Walt Disney. You know, Walt Disney had 2 quotes that were very instrumental to me. One of them was, sometimes the impossible takes a little bit longer. And secondly, it's kind of fun to do the impossible.
Well.
So we made destroying the word impossible just routine play with us. You know, we just wanted to just tear it down. So I thought about, I'm coming from an environment where impossibilities were often the norm. You know, it just couldn't happen. And so I step on the campus where I already see that the word impossible has not been invited here. So what could we do together to take out some other impossibilities that were far beyond what we were even doing at the Academy of Scholars? And so when I met Melvin, and it just connected from that point. It was, you could just tell, it was just, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Come on,
And we got some damage to do together.
Let's go.
And let's make it happen.
Wow, that's amazing. One of the things I think about as an entrepreneur who employs people, one of the phrases you hear in business a lot is good help is hard to find. And I believe that one of the reasons that good help is so hard to find is because most people who are looking for a job are just looking to get paid. They're not looking for work. They're not looking to serve. They're not looking to make an impact. They're looking for someone who's going to pay them for showing up. And I think one of the things that entrepreneurs who are watching this interview right now, business owners who are watching this interview right now, who have a long-term vision for their business, not just, well, we want to make some money this week, or we want to make some money this month, or we want to make sure we're more profitable this year than last year, but you want to build a long-term business, or a lot of family business owners who are running family businesses and they want to build a generational business. One of the things that I think would be beneficial for them to think about is that the Academy of Scholars is a place that is preparing future workers, future leaders, future world changers. And if you're teaching your scholars, aka what other people call students, but I love the fact that you call them scholars. That you're giving them an identity shift, like out of the gate. So I think one of the things that entrepreneurs and business owners who are looking at building a successful business long term, as they watch this interview, it would be good for them to ask themselves, man, this is the kind of place, is this the kind of place that I would like to prepare the future partners, employees, vendors, associates that my company is going to hire and work with decades from now? And if the answer is yes, so I just got this great idea. I get great ideas sometimes. I think it would be very interesting for you to do a conference at your school for entrepreneurs called Operating in Excellence.
Wow.
And that just came to me because so many entrepreneurs and businesses do just enough to be good. They're good enough is good enough, and they do just enough to get by. And it sounds like you dot every I, cross every T, you don't miss a punctuation mark in creating an experience for the people that you serve. What if every business did that? The world would be so much better place. So what is your vision, Dr. Bolden, as an educator, as an administrator, coming into the Academy of Scholars? You've been there for 3 years now, but coming in, what's your vision for the future of these young scholars?
You know, that's a very, very good question, because it's a question that I love. When you can share the vision of what you have. And so it really boils down to the ABCs, Myron. First of all, you got to accept the challenge.
Come on now. Accept
You got to believe in the possibilities, and then you got to create the change that you expect to see. And so what we're looking at is this. We are looking at how can we build the next generation of problem solvers, because our generation, we're leaving challenges behind to this generation that we just couldn't figure out. See, it is my honest belief as the principal of the school that one of the scholars there has a cure for cancer. They just don't know it yet. So we can continue to create an expectation of such high expectations where we can put them in an environment where they can think critically, where they can communicate, they can collaborate, and they can just have that creativity at a very high level. Then those dendrites in the brain begin to grow and develop and fire at a very high level. And so one of the things that we challenge our scholars and our parents, because the parents are the first teachers of the scholars.
100%.
So a lot of times we'll ask, what'd you learn when you came home from school today? So instead of saying, what'd you learn, say, I want you to teach me what you were taught in school today. Because now that's a whole different level, because what happens is this.
What you were taught. Oh, that's so good.
Because 5% of retention is lecture, 50% is discussion, but 90% retention. If I can teach what I was taught, now I have ownership of the information that was given. Because information without application leads to stagnation and total frustration. And so we can keep our scholars from being frustrated.
Information with application leads to transformation. Come on now.
Oh, talk to me. and so our vision is to take what we have, because our students, our scholars score above and beyond the national average on standardized tests. So we have a system in place where our 4-year-olds are reading, and it's very daunting if you just listen to what the statistics say. If you listen to what television says, and that's why I'm very careful about listening to television, because a television is someone wants to tell you a vision that's theirs and not yours. And so we create the vision that we expect to see. So if we can get our scholars reading at age 4, then why so many schools panicking to try to get our scholars reading by 4th grade? Because the research shows if they do not learn how to read by 4th grade, that shows the prison projection populations because they just fast forward and do the numbers. And so just like Cinderella couldn't let the clock strike 12 midnight, we can't let the clock strike fourth grade. And we cannot
Without these kids learn how to read.
without learning how to read because it can be devastating to them. 66% of the students that can't read by fourth grade end up either in prison, on welfare, or the combination of both. 66%. And right now, you're looking at national trend data. 85% of students are below grade level in reading, primarily African American, Hispanic students. And so here's something that is just hard to believe. If you can imagine 100 buses of 55 passenger seating capacity that will pull up and line up one by one. That is the dropout rate every day in America. 2.1 million students drop out annually in the United States. 25% of them drop out in ninth grade. And the biggest change that we see is when students enter fourth grade, they're no longer learning how to read. They're reading to learn. But if they didn't get the foundation in place,
And they don't even like to read.
they don't. And so when they get to ninth grade, the academic rigor becomes so strong, they regress from that challenge. And so our mission is to eradicate illiteracy, to wipe it out. We want to give our children not just a shot at victory, we want them to just drive victory at a high level to help other scholars around the nation. It is a passionate appeal because we're running out of time if we don't act, and the time to act is now.
Man, there's so many things I love about what you are doing. So, fortunately for me, God had a plan. But I learned to read when I was in elementary school. I didn't learn to love to read until I was in my 20s. I didn't read my first book, like real book, until I was 17 years old. And I'm telling you, of all the things that I've done in my life, very few things have impacted my life as an entrepreneur who's had some relatively magnanimous success and impacted the lives of other entrepreneurs. One of the things that have impacted my life the most is the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books that I've read. Right? And so, I get it, because when you start reading books, you get children reading books, you open up a whole new world to them of possibilities, of probabilities, of perspectives, paradigms, just because when you learn how to read, you see that the world is so much bigger than you thought it was. Somebody takes 20 years of their life learning something, a skill, a lesson, a perspective. They take 2 years of their life putting it in a book, and I can sit down and get that 20 years plus that 2 years in 2 hours. I believe books are the ultimate leverage. In fact, I think you'll appreciate this. I was 21 years old when I read A Narrative in the Life of Frederick Douglass, his autobiography. The thing in that book that struck me the most was the fact that Frederick Douglass, who was instrumental in the abolition of slavery, said when he was about 6 years old, his master's wife was teaching him how to read. His master came in, caught his wife teaching him and other slave children how to read, and he absolutely flipped out. And he said, "Woman, don't you ever teach a slave how to read." He said, and if you teach these slaves how to read, they will start reading books, and they will realize that the world is so much bigger than the world they live in now. They will never be content to be a slave again. And whatever you do, don't ever let a slave read the Bible. Frederick Douglass, at 6 years old, had a download from God or the insight as a 6-year-old slave to say, if the man who owns me and could kill me and not be prosecuted, sell me away from my mother or my mother away from me, if he's that dead set against me learning how to read, it is the most important thing I must learn how to do. And since he worked in the big house, he would take scraps from the master's table, exchange it to poor white children in the neighborhood, in exchange for them teaching him how to understand letters. And every time he found something with some writing on it, he'd put it in his pocket and he would take it back to his slave quarters. And by moonlight, he would practice his reading. The man became so eloquent as an orator from the things that he had read that when I was 21 years old, in college, graduated from high school, there were words that he used in his book about his life that I had to look up in the dictionary before I could go any further. That's the magnitude of reading. He learned a skill because he could read. He learned the skill of carpentry. He bought his freedom, had it stolen from him, bought it again, had it stolen from him, bought it again, and finally he was free. The man became so eloquent because of reading that he gained an audience with the President of the United States and the Queen of England and was instrumental in the abolition of slavery in the United States of America. Books open up the doors to all kinds of truth that we are currently unfamiliar with. And y'all are giving these young people such a great head start in the Academy of Scholars, teaching them how to read, and not just teaching them how to read, but teaching them to learn to love to read. It's a beautiful thing.
And Myron, you know what's interesting? If you look at the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 23. And if Jesus said it, it's probably a strong possibility. It's something we need to make a note of, right?
He might be onto something.
He might be onto something. And this particular verse has been in there for some time, and it has been just foundational to me personally as a school leader and also the academy. And this is Jesus speaking. He says, all things are possible. He that believeth, all things are possible to him that believeth. Now, he didn't say most things are possible. He didn't say almost every other thing is possible. He says all things are possible. And you brought up a very good point. Reading is that key that can just unlock doors that were never designed to be open.
100%.
And so we can get our scholars to continue to just fall in love with reading because they can see that reading is a passport. It can take you to places that you may not necessarily have the money to go right now. But one thing about it, you're limited. Your imagination is limitless when it comes to being able to explore and to engage at a high level. And so we see that every day at the Academy of Scholars. Our kids have a genuine love to read. You know, we walk into the classroom, and before you can even ask the question, I need somebody. Every hand is up in the air because there's such an excitement.
They're locked and loaded.
Such an excitement to read and to share. Because reading creates an environment where learning has no limits.
So good, so good. I one of the things that I knew when I met you that I wanted to do something with y'all. I knew that. I knew I wanted to do something with the Academy of Scholars and help these young people and have an impact, like make a difference in their lives. And as an entrepreneur, I make very decent income, and my consulting firm, we charge $40,000 an hour for business consulting, and we have clients who pay us upwards of $50,000, $350,000, $1 million a year for coaching and consulting. And I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to have an impact on the lives of these young scholars in Atlanta, Georgia? And when I go and speak, somebody, well, I want you to come speak. A very, very famous entrepreneur, they reached out to me, well, what are your requirements? My requirements are, you pay for my jet fee, which is $11,000 an hour. You pay for my speaking fee, which is $250,000 to come speak for an hour. And I'll come and let me know what your objective is, and then I'll pay for all my expenses, et cetera, et cetera. But what I want to do for the Academy of Scholars is I want to do an event on your campus, in your facility, where I teach entrepreneurs some of the business lessons that I've learned, and they don't have to pay $40,000 an hour. I want to come in and unlock some of the most amazing business secrets I've learned in my life. And I've got clients who have had just insane amounts of revenue transformations in their business.
Many of them I know.
Many of them you know. Many of them live in the city of Atlanta,
yes.
right? And I am going to ask all of them that are watching this to come to this event. I'm gonna ask business owners from all over Atlanta to come to this event. I'm gonna spill the beans on some of the most mind-blowingly impactful business lessons I've learned in my entire career. I've been an entrepreneur for 47 years. So if you can't learn something in 47 years, you can't learn it, right? And so what I want to do is I want us to put on a scholarship gala where we're going to invite people to come to dinner, entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are running businesses, especially that have businesses that do business in the state of Georgia. I want to invite them to come to this scholarship gala and learn from me for an hour or more some of the most mind-blowing, game-changing business lessons I've learned without them having to pay $40,000 an hour, without them having to pay $11,000 an hour for jet fee, without them having to pay $250,000 to hear me speak, without your school having to pay $250,000 to have me come speak. I'm going to come and help bring awareness to the excellence with which the Academy of Scholars operates. One of the reasons I believe businesses that are in the state of Georgia would benefit greatly from coming to this is not just because they're going to hear from me, but they're going to see for the first time in a long time, maybe for the first time ever, what excellence of operations and implementation looks like. So if you are a business owner and you do business in the state of Georgia, it doesn't matter if your business does $1 million a year or $100 million a year or $700 billion a year. If your business does business in the state of Georgia, I'm going to invite you to come to this experience. It is going to impact your business. You are going to get ideas for your business, making your business better, serving your clients at a higher level, just by driving on the campus before the gala even starts. And then we're going to have a nice dinner, and I'm going to stand up and share some of the most game-changing business ideas that I've learned in my life at this gala. Melvin, I want you to tell everybody, what is this gala called? What is it about? And by the way, when you come as a business owner, we're not inviting you because we're going to ask you to give some money. We're not going to ask you to give any money. The gala is going to be $500 a plate. This is not for the parents of the scholars. This is not for parents who want their children to come and be scholars. This is for business owners who want to learn operational excellence and have an impact on the lives of students who are scholars who in the future may be running some division of your company. Melvin, talk to us about this wonderful gala that we're about to have that's going to change the game in Atlanta, Georgia.
I think we should call it the Bright Futures Black Tie Scholarship Gala.
The Bright Futures Black Tie Scholarship Gala. That means a couple of things. When you come to this gala, your future is going to be brighter. When you come to this gala, the future of these scholars is going to be brighter.
Yes.
It's a black tie event. It's going to be on the level of a red carpet black tie event, the likes of which you've never seen. I'm inviting you to come. I'm inviting you to be impacted. And we're going to show you how you can have a greater impact in your business and how your business can have an impact on the lives of these scholars without you having to write a check.
I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm so jacked out of my mind, I can hardly stand it.
There are two words I love in the dictionary.
Talk to me, brother. One's impossible.
One is impossible, and the other one is victory. And that's what I see coming. I see victory coming at such a high level. You know, we have a entrepreneurship program at our school. And one of the things that we talked about was one day being on Shark Tank. We said, no, that's too easy. You know, anybody can be on Shark Tank. What about becoming sharks on Shark Tank? That's the level that I see getting ready to happen here. So we are so thankful to have this opportunity to just take it even higher. You know, and anything is possible. I was child that was going to the principal's office. And then I became the principal in office.
Come on now.
So I'm pretty sure there's some entrepreneurs and some other future principals and business leaders out there that are truly going to be impacted at such a high level of excellence. So again, we're really excited about it. We have our program, the Little Red Book of Reading, that
We developed.
we developed in a huge arena to really be a game changer and make a big difference in the lives of so many scholars around the nation.
Camera, be sure it gets that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The Little Red Book of Reading.
This is fire. I'm loving everything about this conversation. I'm loving everything about this conversation because I know, as a 63-year-old man, I know how much fun learning can be.
Yes.
But unfortunately, when I got to the 4th grade, I lost my love of learning when I got to the 4th grade. School became unfun. I had a teacher that didn't like me, and the feeling was mutual. Right? And it just kind of went downhill for me. If I would have had the opportunity to go to the Academy of Scholars and to become one of the students of your environment, where I am right now probably pales in comparison to where I could be.
Wow.
So I'm honored to partner with y'all on this event. I'm honored to be able to share the value that I bring into the marketplace to help make the lives of these young scholars better. And we want to invite all the entrepreneurs who do business in the state of Georgia. If you are an entrepreneur in the city of Atlanta and you've got elementary school age children and they're not going to this school, where are they going? I promise you that will be the question you'll be asking yourself when you leave. If you're an entrepreneur in the city of Atlanta and you've got grandchildren who live in that city, who are at elementary school age, 4 to 6th grade, 4 years old to 6th grade, and they're not going to the Academy of Scholars, I challenge you to come to this gala. I challenge you to have your mind just absolutely blown by the experience and also expanded by the transformational mechanisms and the transformational information that we're going to provide. I challenge you to come there and not realize that this is the only place your child or grandchild should be educated. It's going to be a game changer. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, what are the dates again? It's going to be November
16th.
November 16th
6 p.m.
at 6 p.m. Black Tie Gala. It's going to be next level. It's going to be at a Christian school, but it is going to be a level of excellence that you've not yet experienced. I guarantee it. Dr. Bolden, Melvin, give us some last words to the folks who are thinking about wanting to come to the gala, who are thinking about wanting their business to go to the next level. Give us, say something that is going to be impactful for them. I already know that they would rather miss their next birthday party than miss this gala. It's going to be on that level.
Well, Myron, you and I have known each other for a number of years now.
Yes, we have.
We've flown out of the country together.
We
We've
have.
flown all around the country together.
We have.
And we've discussed and implemented a lot of exciting things, a lot of which we learned while we were in the air together.
Indeed.
Because we've had more time to talk in those instances where the phone's not ringing and
Yeah, there's no interruptions.
there's no interruptions.
Yeah, and you can get in flow.
Right, yeah. So all of that. And so I know the kind of wisdom that these entrepreneurs can expect to experience when they're with you. And I've also seen firsthand many of the entrepreneurs that you've worked with, many of which are friends of mine. And I've seen how their lives have changed and how their businesses have changed and how it's not only worked for them and their families and their children, but even the people that work with them have benefited from the things that they've learned from you. Their lives and their organizations are completely different than they were before they met you. And you have a level of knowledge that is going to be game-changing for them.
100%. And we're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring the heat on the 16th of November.
Yes, we are.
We bring the heat.
Absolutely. I just would like to say, if you could imagine experiencing the omnipresence of God, that's what this event will give you to a degree. Let me explain. Can I explain?
Please do.
You're going to be able to see the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. The past poor performance of how scholars could not learn, how they could not be successful, schools that are facing a myriad of challenges, that's the past. The present will be when Myron Golden takes the stage. Because your presence will create some presence in the lives of all those that will be there. So their lives will change immediately at that moment. And then the future, the results that they get from the present and that experience that will transform not only the lives of our scholars at the Academy of Scholars, but other scholars across the nation that they may not be able to come and step foot on our campus, but the program that we have, the Little Red Book of Reading, that can go into many school districts across the nation that can make a huge impact in their lives. And then the entrepreneurs that will be there and business owners, 10x. No, we talking about 100x. Because you're going to be in an environment of like-minded individuals with a common passion to not only be a difference, but make more than a difference in the lives of so many people, starting with their own.
You know, so I think I'm going to end. Melvin, you got something you want to add?
Just one more thing.
Please do.
It's not by accident that our brands align. We're a Christian school, and you only teach business.
From a biblical perspective.
There you go. So
Yeah.
this was destined to happen.
Oh, yeah. It was by divine design.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't realize until we are wrapping up this conversation what I'm about to say. I do not see this as a YouTube video. You know, slap it on YouTube and people see it. I don't see this gala as, oh, we're going to have a big party or we're going to raise a bunch of money. What I see at the culmination of this conversation that we've just had, this is the beginning of a movement to impact the excellence in education in the United States of America like this country has never seen. That's what I see.
Let's touch and agree.
Touch and agree. So good. So good. Guys, if you have a business that does business in the state of Georgia, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to the people that you serve, you owe it to the people that you work with to make sure you are at this gala. And we only have how many seats available?
176.
176 seats. It will be a sold-out event. The question is, are you going to be there? Or are you going to let somebody else take your seat? We'll look forward to seeing you on the 16th of November. Bye for now.